The California sun beat down on my shoulders as I marched into my boss's office, resignation letter clutched in sweaty fingers. Robert Cartwright, a man whose charm ended at his perfectly manicured nails, had once again stolen my thunder, giving the Napa Valley vineyard deal to that simpering airhead, Tiffany. I, Amelia Brooks, the one who built his reputation on bold Cabernets and crisp Sauvignon Blancs, was being tossed aside. "This is a mistake, Amelia," Robert drawled, his voice smooth as the aged Pinot Noir. "Think of the exposure for Brooks Imports." "Exposure doesn't pay the bills, Robert," I countered, my voice laced with steel, especially not when it comes at the expense of my hard work. Leaving Cartwright Vineyards was a gamble, but I had a feeling in my gut, a feeling as potent as a well-aged Merlot. It was time to branch out, to forge my own path. Thus, Brooks and Barrel was born, a name that whispered of tradition and a dash of rebellion. My first order of business, securing a marquee client. My sights landed on Silverado Vineyards, a family-owned powerhouse known for its award-winning Zinfandels. The problem? The Silverado family was notoriously tight-lipped, as impenetrable as their prized Cabernet Sauvignon. Undeterred, I hatched a plan as audacious as a Californian Syrah. I'd infiltrate their ranks, not as Amelia Brooks, the rising star of the Napa Valley, but as Amelia Brown, a simple farmhand seeking a summer job. It was a gamble, one that could leave me with nothing but dust on my boots and a sunburn on my nose. The Silverado Ranch was a sprawling paradise, vineyards stretching as far as the eye could see. It was there I met him, Ethan. Tall, with sun-bleached hair and eyes the color of a stormy sky, he was as rugged as the Silverado peaks themselves. He was gruff, suspicious at first, but something about my tenacity, or perhaps the way my sundress clung to my curves in the summer heat, softened him. He became my reluctant teacher, showing me the backbreaking work that went into crafting a perfect bottle of wine. My days were filled with calloused palms and aching muscles, but the evenings were pure California magic. Under the canopy of a star-studded sky, we'd share stories, his voice a low rumble that sent shivers down my spine. The air crackled with unspoken desire, a tension that grew thicker with each passing day. One particularly sweltering evening, after a day spent battling stubborn grapevines, Ethan found me by the creek, my sundress clinging to my damp skin. The air hung heavy with unspoken words, a storm brewing both within and without. He reached for me, his calloused hand meeting my cheek, the touch electrifying. His kiss was rough, a tempestuous clash that ignited a fire within me. We stumbled back, breathless, the scent of earth and sweat filling our senses. His hands roamed my body, a brand new map he was eager to explore. My sundress fell away, discarded like an empty bottle, leaving me bare beneath the moonlight. His touch was fire against my skin, sending shivers cascading down my spine. He explored every inch of me, his lips trailing along my collarbone, down to the valley between my breasts. I arched into his touch, a moan escaping my lips. He undressed with practiced speed, his every move a promise. We sank onto the soft grass, the earth cool against our bare skin. The rhythm of our breaths mingled with the chirping of crickets, a symphony composed in the heart of the Napa Valley. His touch was both tender and urgent, igniting a passion within me that rivaled the summer sun. Time seemed to melt away as we explored each other, the pleasure building with each touch, each kiss. When he finally entered me, a gasp escaped my lips. It was a perfect storm, a wild blend of pleasure and raw emotion that left me breathless, clinging to him as the world spun around us. We lay tangled beneath the starlit sky, the echoes of our lovemaking fading into the night. It was more than just physical release. It was a connection, a sense of belonging I hadn't known I craved. But the following morning brought a sobering reality. I couldn't stay here forever, pretending to be someone I wasn't. As much as it pained me, I had to tell Ethan the truth. His reaction was a storm in itself. Betrayal flickered in his eyes, a stormy blue mirroring the coming rain. But when I revealed my true identity, my dream for Brooks and Barrel, his expression softened. "You're Amelia Brooks?" he breathed, a hint of amusement in his voice. "The woman who's been giving Robert Cartwright sleepless nights?" A blush crept up my cheeks. "Something like that," I mumbled, avoiding his gaze. The memory of Robert's smug face fueled a new determination. I wouldn't let my dreams be crushed again. Silence stretched between us, thick with unspoken emotions. Then, Ethan reached out, a single finger tracing a path down my cheek. "You're crazy, Amelia Brooks," he murmured, his voice husky, but crazy in a way I kinda like. The corner of his mouth quirked into a reluctant smile. My heart hammered in my chest, a chaotic rhythm that mirrored the storm brewing overhead. The first fat raindrops began to fall, spattering against my bare skin. He pulled me close, his embrace a haven against the sudden downpour. The rain turned our passionate encounter into a messy, exhilarating dance. His lips found mine again, hungrier this time, fueled by a mixture of anger and desire. We stumbled back towards the ramshackle barn, seeking shelter from the deluge. Inside, the hay bales smelled sweet and earthy. We collapsed onto the soft bed, our clothes clinging to us like second skins. His hands were everywhere, exploring every curve, every secret crevice of my body. My own hands roamed his chest, tracing the taut muscles beneath his sun-kissed skin. This time, our lovemaking was a slow burn, fueled by the intimacy of the storm raging outside. Each touch, each kiss, was a deliberate exploration, a slow build towards a shared climax. He whispered my name against my skin, his voice a guttural caress that sent shivers down my spine. As the rain lashed against the barn roof, we reached a crescendo, a shared gasp of ecstasy echoing in the dimly lit space. We clung to each other, our bodies slick with sweat and rain, our breaths mingling in the warm, humid air. Lying there, tangled in his arms, a new fear gnawed at me. How could I possibly leave this? This connection, this raw, untamed passion, was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. Yet, I knew I couldn't stay here forever, living a lie. As the storm began to abate, a sliver of moonlight peeked through the cracks in the barn wall. Ethan traced a finger along the curve of my hip. "Tell me about Brooks and Barrel," he said, his voice low and husky. I spent the next hour pouring my heart out, outlining my vision for a company that celebrated bold flavors and innovative blends, just like the storm we just weathered. As I spoke, a flicker of admiration ignited in his eyes. "You're as passionate about wine as you are about..." He trailed off, a smirk playing on his lips. My cheeks burned. "About what?" "About this," he said, his voice husky as he nudged a stray curl away from my face. Before I could respond, his lips were on mine again. A slow, seductive kiss that promised more to come. The following days were a whirlwind of stolen moments and clandestine meetings. We'd meet under the cover of twilight, hidden amongst the sprawling grapevines. His touch was a constant reminder of the forbidden intimacy we shared, a delicious blend of danger and desire. One starlit night, we found ourselves nestled amongst the rows of Cabernet Sauvignon. The air was thick with the scent of ripe grapes and the intoxicating musk of his cologne. His hand cupped my face, his thumb tracing a gentle path across my lips. "Amelia Brooks," he rumbled, his voice a low growl. "You're going to be the death of me." His words sent a thrill through me. In that moment, under the watchful gaze of the Silverado moon, I knew I was falling for him hard and fast. But with every stolen kiss, every secret touch, the weight of my deception grew heavier. The truth bomb finally dropped one crisp morning, as I sat across from Mr. Silverado himself, the patriarch of the family. Ethan, it turned out, was not just a farmhand, but the heir apparent, the future of Silverado Vineyards.